Well, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here with you for this week's devotional. And I'm here with my little dwarf fig tree. If you remember, when we first started our devotionals, you may recognize this tree. I first bought it several months ago and shared with you how the Christian walk needed investment and time and love and energy and focus in order to grow and to develop. And I promised you that I would return with this fig tree to give you an update. And here it is. As you can tell, it's not so small. It is fruitful, it is budding, and more importantly, if you can tell right here, it's already beginning to bear its very first fig. And it's interesting to me because in many ways in Jesus' life, he often spoke in agricultural terms of the Christian life. And in one ways, it's understandable because the people that he was speaking of were an agricultural people. They would have understood the analogies. But there's another element to it as well, because in many ways, the person that follows Christ is in many ways like this tree, because we all need good soil in order to flourish. We all need the water. We all need the light, the sunlight. We all need the protection. We all need these things that, like a plant, we need in order to flourish and to grow and to bear fruit, which is why Jesus many times talked about bearing fruit in the life. When I first bought it, it was in this little canister, but it soon outgrew it, and it's now in a larger canister with much richer soil. And now I have no doubt that it's going to grow even more fruitful, and it's going to flourish. And this is the Christian walk. God will take us out of our current situation and put us in a much more enriching environment, and after a while we'll find ourselves bearing fruit. Let me give you another analogy. Come with me. This is my peach tree, and as you can tell, there are many small bits of peaches already bearing fruit here. And this is a result of time and investment, the soil that was put in, and the energy and the water that was invested into this tree. So I think of, there's a parable in Luke chapter 13, verses 6 through 9, where Jesus talks about an owner of a fig tree, and he has this vineyard, and he has this tree there, and he says that for 3 years it hasn't borne any fruit. And as a result, he tells the keeper of the vineyard, just cut it down and get rid of it. But the keeper says, well, hold on a second. Let me dig around it. Let me put some good soil around it. Let me water it. And then we'll see after a year. And what Jesus was illustrating there was many times we have to invest in others in order to see the fruitfulness in their life. So if you were with me this last Sunday, we talked about loving one another and how Jesus, in his final dialogue with his disciples before he's arrested, he gives them this one final command: love one another. But remember, it's not a fuzzy feeling. It's not just an emotion. It's an investment into others. It's digging around and putting that good soil and providing and nurturing, watering, and then letting God help them grow. And that's what the Christian walk is for one another, and that's what it means to love one another. And when you do that, then you'll begin to see fruitfulness in the lives of those around you. Let me show you one other example. This is my pear tree, and if you'll notice, it has cords around it. The reason for that is because when we first planted it, it began to grow crooked. It was almost at a 45-degree angle until we straightened it out. And I think of Proverbs chapter 3, verse 6, where it says, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. And so many times that love may be a straightening out issue. And so we are like this tree sometimes. We're sometimes needing good soil. Sometimes we need sunlight. Of course, we all need that. But also, sometimes we need to be straightened out a bit. So when you really think about what Jesus was saying and all of these analogies of agricultural terms, fruitfulness, the trees, and all of these different things, he speaks to the Christian walk. If we're really going to love one another, it means investing in each other. It means digging around and putting that good soil for us to be that enriching person for that other life that God gives us. So I want to encourage you on this day that to be a source of richness for other people, to invest, to dig around the life, and to help others to really grow and bear fruit. Sometimes it may cause an investment in your life, maybe more than you want to give. But this is the call that Jesus gave to his disciples that final night before he was arrested, and that's the call for all believers. May you be encouraged by this message, and I look forward to our next session soon. God bless.